That's the reality of it. Where you get the truth, where you get the real, where you get to see all the things that's going on all around you. And we tell it like it is.
We're gonna tear your kingdom down, oh Lord. Say, Lord, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. Oh yes, you've been building your kingdom, oh Lord. All over this land. That's all right. We're gonna tear your kingdom down. Oh, thank you, Lord. The preachers are gonna preach your kingdom.
We will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty.
Hello, America. I'm Maisha. Welcome to That's the Reality of It.
And I'm Claudia. We have a great show coming up.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
So I switched my car insurance to State Farm. I saved $480. You know what that is?
Yeah, don't say it.
You know what it is, right?
Yeah, don't.
It's a lot of dough.
Switch and you could save $480 with State Farm.
It's a lot of dough.
See if Bryant Jenkins in Reisterstown can save you a lot of dough.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
It's time to hit the trails on a bike from the Pikesville Bicycle Shop. They have all makes and models for all ages and sizes, and they'll service your bike and customize it to fit your needs. So for the very best variety of bikes, the best service and price, come to Pikesville Bicycle Shop or call 410-602-BIKE and take advantage of our special deals.
I love my Hero.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Richardson. Welcome to our segment with Health and Wellness. And as my guest, I have William Allen. Hi,
Thank
buddy.
you for inviting me again.
Okay.
I love this segment. And I know, look, Dr. Richardson keeps getting on me about education. I'm part of the program, but I am really not doing what I should be doing to get the educational aspect of the program so I can even advance and do better. So tell me how important that is.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know, education is important because what happened without understanding what you're doing, why you're doing it, you won't get the value out of that you need to get in order to sustain yourself. In other words, when we talk about health and wellness, guys, we're talking about being healthy for a long, long time. We want to stay well. We don't want the surgeries. We don't want the medication. We don't want any of those things. But the question becomes, what can you do? And there are some things you can absolutely do. You're already doing some of those things.
Right. I'm doing some of those things. And the products, I got to get some more products, though.
Right.
Okay. But when I was on the products, me and my son, he swears by it. He said he hasn't been sick since he's been taking them.
Yes.
Okay. And normally he gets sick sometime each year during a certain part of the year. Hasn't been sick. So I got to order some more products. But yeah, I'm doing the healthy 90 for life. But I know I have to get the education aspect of it because I'm lacking in the knowledge of these programs and what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So,
matter of fact, William, one of the things I do, I emphasize that because if a person doesn't understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, they're not apt to continue doing it. See, when we talk about the 90 for Life program, we talk about wellness. Now, how long do you want to be well? Well, most people want to be well for ever if they can, right? Or as long as possible, the fewest amount of problems.
Right.
I mean, no one wants to end up in a nursing home. You can't walk, you can't talk, you can't eat. You got all these different
problems. Can't see half the time.
Can't see which way you're going.
Exactly.
And a lot of the problems that people come down with is really lifestyle. I know we like to blame genetics and like with diabetes and arthritis and high blood pressure and all those types of things. But the real truth of it is, it's your lifestyle. It's the things that you do and the things that you don't do that actually help determine what happens to you. Okay. And that's why I think the educational process in turn, when we're talking about health and wellness, is so important. Because see, it's not just about what you're eating It's also what you're not eating.
Okay.
That's a large part of the problem because the foods that we are consuming on a daily basis, many of those foods are devoid of nutrition.
Devoid of nutrition.
No nutrition is there, which is one of the reasons that the body gets into trouble.
And why we're not getting the nutritional aspect of what we think we're getting, because it's not even in the plants anymore.
We're getting food, but we're not getting the nutritional value. In other words, when I say nutrition, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the essential nutrients that the body needs. Those are actually building blocks. And those building blocks promote and support the body's ability to begin to correct itself.
Because the body can heal itself as long as you put the right
well,
things
look,
in
it created itself all by itself.
Right, exactly.
If the body can do that all by itself, do you think it has the ability to heal itself? Well, absolutely. But you do have to cut out the bad stuff, and you have to put in the good stuff.
And that's where the education comes.
That's where the education. Let me talk a little bit about some of the bad things. Most people probably know a little bit about GMO, genetically modified organism. Well, a lot of the foods that we eat, especially the grains that we raise in this country, a lot of those grains are genetically modified. Well, in some people, it doesn't really agree with them. It doesn't agree with their system. And because of that, there are some breakdowns in that digestive tract. And if you have breakdown in your digestive tract, well, some of the nutrition in the food, you're not even able to absorb it. And people may not know this. And sometimes they're being treated for different conditions that's really a problem associated with the digestive system. And some of that can even be traced back to genetically modified foods.
Okay. Now, genetically modified foods are like processed food. Is that part of it?
No. Not so much processed food is that, take wheat, for example.
Okay.
The wheat has been modified through genetic engineering so that the grains will grow bigger. The protein is a heartier protein, is more difficult to digest. And because you can't digest it, what happens is it creates like a contact dermatitis inside of the small intestine, which can create all kinds of other problems.
Okay. So when we come back next week, we're going to get into more of the genetically changed modified food and into the education of how to know which foods are that way and knowing the best foods to eat and things you shouldn't eat.
Right, and how to read those labels. Guys, that's really important.
Because it tells you everything on the labels.
On the labels of foods are labeled, but people need to know and understand how to read that.
Now, if they can't, can they reach you right now in case they want to, the anxious?
As a matter of fact, if they want to get some information, yes, they can call me at 410-698-4848. 410-698-4848. Leave me a message and I will get back to you.
All right, so thank you again for inviting me. I got a wealth of information already.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Weave Express for all quality weave extensions. Weave Express for the best lace frontal weave. Weave Express, known for their $60 sew-ins. Weave Express for the array of braiding styles for all ages for men and women. Weave Express, affordable with flawless services. Weave Express, where they guarantee services you will love. Call the Weave Express and go to their website to see the many other services they provide, like weight loss and teeth whitening. Weave Express, the best prices, the best service, and quality weave.
Welcome back to That's the Reality of It. I'm here with Dr. Joanne Martin, the CEO and founder of the Great Blacks in Wax Museum. This is our second time talking about this museum because it is so awesome and we need more people to come down and see how fantastic this museum is. The history that this museum holds is unbelievable. So give us a little background on the museum and how you got started with it.
Well, my late husband, Dr. Elmer Martin, and I founded the museum in 1983. Our history goes back to the early 80s, where we purchased 4 wax figures that we would take around the city of Baltimore and D.C. and metropolitan areas and set them up as exhibits in schools and churches and so forth, and then take them back home with us to our 2-bedroom apartment.
2-bedroom apartment,
yes,
the wax figure.
That
would have been kind of scary. You wake up and see these people like standing there.
Well, they had their own room right across the hall from us. It was just the 2 of us. But my husband began collecting so much material that we had to find space, and so we moved into a small storefront in downtown Baltimore in 1983 on Saratoga Street. And we moved here to North Avenue in 1988, and we've been here ever since.
Since 1988?
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure how many people have come to see this fantastic museum, but if you haven't yet, you definitely need to come. So what we need to do is we want to talk about the youth, because we're in front of the youth exhibit And give me some background on why this is so important to you.
This exhibit is called "And a Little Child Shall Lead Them, Black Youth in the Struggle." And the whole point is that children have been called upon throughout history and throughout the world to fight for freedom and justice. They've been called to sit in and stand up and sit down in the face of billy clubs and an evil man named Bull Connor and water cannons and so forth to fight for justice. They continue today to be a part of the struggle as they fight against gun violence, as they fight to get people to vote. And so the sacrifices that young people have had to make in order to make this world better and to make this a free and just world is something that has continued throughout history.
Because right now there's a strong youth movement, and it's catching fire everywhere in the country and in the other areas of the world as well.
Yes.
Because the youth are getting sick and tired. We've been sick and tired, but they're getting sick and tired because it's deplorable how this administration will not do something about the gun situation.
Exactly.
And believe me, I think common sense gun laws. What is the AK? What is it? AK something?
AK-15.
15. Who needs that?
Right, and all of those assault weapons. You have people who use those in war and who stand silently against them because they know what those weapons do. And but one of the things that I would want young people today to know is that they walk in the footsteps of other young people who face the same kind of challenges. Lynching during the civil rights movement, lynching was very much a part of the
fabric
culture
of the country,
of this country. And so when those kids got out on the front lines of battle, which is where they were marching and protesting, they were under grave dangers. When you had children in slavery, parents, in the same way that parents talk about having to teach their children how not to confront the police, to stay safe.
Slave it don't even matter because they shoot them anyway.
Exactly. Slave parents had to make the same speech. They had to teach their sons in particular not to confront the slave master, the danger and the peril that could exist. And so, so mothers in particular still making the speech to try to keep their children safe and losing in that battle every day.
Now, we're going to show some clips of you talking about the exhibit with some young people in the audience that you were describing the history of the struggle of young black people during the civil rights movement and some issues during slavery. And the look on their eyes and their face was like amazing because they did not realize that all this took place.
Exactly.
And that's why it's so important to bring your kids down here to talk about this and to see this, because these are life-size wax figures that they can kind of embrace and can kind of more feel the struggle that they went through. So we're going to take a look at how you described it with the kids, and we'll be right back.
Who's booking your YOLO vacation?
Call Nicole, your land and cruise expert. Remember, the internet's for looking, but Nicole is for booking.
Who was George Washington?
George Washington was the first president.
First president, okay. And before he was the president, he was a soldier. And he was he fought in the Revolutionary War. That's the war that was fought that turned into starting this country. So he's in a boat at the standing up in that boat, and in front of him is a black man named Tom Graves. And so you have a black man and all of these men. They're on the Delaware River, and you can see from the picture what's the weather like. Okay, you see the snow, and so it was cold, and you can see from this that it was cold because this is a scene from Tom Graves was in this boat, and he had a child the history tells us, named Jocko. The people called him Jocko Graves, and he volunteered to watch over the horses for George Washington and his men while they were camped at the Delaware River. And he had a very bad tragedy where it was so cold that he froze to death. So they made a statue of him. We have one downstairs that was like the original one, and it was called the lawn jockey. So that was his struggle. This child right here in the barrel, his name was crippled. His name was Caesar, and he was a slave on a plantation in Maryland. Where are you from? What state are you from?
DC.
DC, okay. So our neighbors, DC, he was a slave on a plantation in Maryland. And again, another story about how the cold can affect people. He got frostbite. Do you know what frostbite is? Okay, what is frostbite?
Frostbite is Africa.
Okay, what would the weather be like?
It would be cold.
It would be cold. Have you been outside when it was cold and you didn't have gloves on and your hands get so cold that they begin to hurt and so forth? And that's what he was so out there for so long that he started losing. And that can happen to people. If you stay out in the cold too long, your limbs get numb and then they start to fall. They can fall off for some people. And that's what happened to him. So he started losing his arms and his legs. But he was so determined that he wanted to be free. He did not want to be a slave. And so when the grown-ups would run away, Cripple Caesar would take out after him, and he'd be on his little hands and legs trying to keep up. He couldn't keep up, so the slave catchers would catch him, bring him back to the plantation, and he'd hear that somebody else was trying to escape, and off he'd go. And he was so determined to be free that he managed to escape slavery, even though he had no hands and no legs. So that was another young person and his struggle. This little child, but sometimes people can just, people can be so cruel and do things that don't make any sense. So this little child was playing one day with some kids, some little white kids, some little black kids. A little white girl leaned over and kissed him on the cheek, and some white men got so upset by that they decided to burn him on a wood pile. And another white man just talked to them and said, "This is so wrong." So we're going to talk about this one, and then I'll let you look at the rest of it. Have you heard the song "We Shall Overcome"? Okay, that was a song that Martin Luther King and the people out on the civil rights marches used to sing. You've heard it? Yeah, and so it goes, "We shall overcome." And so we had some little kids out there with Martin Luther King and the people who were out there fighting for civil rights, and they started singing, "We Are Not Afraid." So when the adults sang, we shall overcome, the kids started singing, "We are not afraid," because they were out there facing the same kind of things that the adults were facing, and they were out there fighting for civil rights so that young people like you could vote, go to good schools, and enjoy your life, because your ancestors and people who came before you helped to make this country a better place. And so today, when we're fighting to vote and so forth, you have to make sure that you don't let anybody take that right away from you. And you have to make sure that when you're old enough to vote, that you do that, because you have people who gave everything, including their life, so that you could enjoy those freedoms. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Make the most of those long summer days. Wake up ready for more fun in the sun after a restoring night's sleep on the new Beauty Rest mattress. And with Beauty Rest Endless Summer Savings, there's no better time to buy than now.
Beauty Rest Silver. Sophisticated design paired with intuitive technology that will leave you refreshed, restored, and ready for the day.
Visit the owner-operated Sleep Time Bedding and Mattress Showroom, where you will get personal attention.
I was impressed on how those kids knew some of this information. So it's great that the parents, I told the parents that I was proud of them for bringing their kids.
Absolutely.
So that they, a lot of parents don't do that. The kids don't understand the history, so they repeat the same mistakes. And those parents brought them here. Some of them looked like about 7 years old.
Yes, and it's amazing. Sometimes people have the idea that little kids can't learn history or don't, and you can't teach them history, and that's simply not the case. I teach kids along with, in our Ancient Africa exhibit, for example, when we talk about the pyramids. I have little preschoolers making a pyramid with their fingers.
Okay.
I have them talking about what color is my king wearing when we're talking about Akhenaten, or what color is my queen wearing when we're talking about Hatshepsut.
Okay.
And have them repeating those names. And so you find a way to present it that's geared to their age, but you don't just ignore it. We had some kids with our Henry Box Brown. I had a little envelope, and we talked about that he mailed himself to freedom, and we compared that to, in this corner we write where we live. In this corner, in the center we write where we're going. So this is where Henry Box Brown lived, and they tell me Richmond, Virginia. This is where he was going, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So there are ways to teach the history to children that they find fascinating.
So I think it's very important for those who are not familiar with the Great Blacks and Wax Museum, wherever state you're in, and however the ages are. It's very important to come down, support the Blacks and Wax Museum, because it's the only one of the first ones in the country. So come down and support it. How can they, you have a website?
We have a website, we have Facebook and Twitter.
What's the website?
The website is greatblacksandwax.org.
Okay.
And our Facebook is NGBIW.
Okay.
That's enough of it. There might be an M at the end, but that's our Facebook. And lots of programming on our website of things that we're doing, and on Facebook.
Great. So make sure you contact. We're going to have that information on the TV, so that people can write it down and come. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. And it's good seeing you again. You look fabulous. I can't help but say that. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Boy, I got to get my game together here. So, again, the Great Blacks and Wax Museum here. The location is in Baltimore. The address is?
We're at 1601 East North Avenue in the heart of Baltimore City.
Heart of Baltimore City. So don't forget to come down and take a look. Bring the kids down. And there might be some history you need to know, too, if you're an adult and don't know what we're talking about. Okay? And young people, stay strong. Keep it going. Don't stop. Get them people out to vote. Go ahead and canvass for the people, because you know who we need in office to get stuff done.
Absolutely.
All right? So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The grand opening of the Owens Mills MD Furniture Store is here, with furniture like you've never seen before, with furniture designs and styles from all over the world, showcasing beautiful living room, dining room, and awesome bedroom and dinette sets. MD Furniture has a large collection of exotic and unique furniture, including imported accessories and crystal chandeliers. Whatever your taste in furniture, from contemporary, modern, traditional, or exotic, MD Furniture has it. So come to MD Furniture and mention this commercial for a special discount.
For all your pharmacy needs and prescriptions, call Pharmacy Solutions, LLC, the community pharmacy the mayor honored for its commitment in providing the community with affordable prescriptions. Pharmacy Solutions takes your health very personally with patient consultation and a patient assistance program for the uninsured and those with specialty drug needs. To learn more about the program and how to transfer your prescriptions to Pharmacy Solutions, LLC, call them today, because they breathe life back into our community.
This time, don't tell me you're sorry. Then it happens again and again. All too Starling. And again and again and again and again. So who's gonna stop it? Police must stop it. We the people gonna stop it. This is how we're gonna men in blue, your lives matter too. For all the good that you do, we won't let the few represent all of you. So who's gonna stop it? Police must stop it. We the people gonna stop it. This is how we're gonna stand up, speak out, protesting in the streets as we shout out, Black lives matter, matter. Like all lives matter, all lives it matters. And his life matters, my life matters, your life matters. We all matter. Black lives matter. All lives matter, no lives matter. His life, my life, like my life.
Fernando Fernandez.
Lives must matter.
Would you like to make $300 to over $3,000 a week on your own time? Then call Odyssey Production and join their marketing team by selling TV advertisements. And you can get paid each day. For more information, go to the employment section on our website or call 443-394-7333.
Another great show. Absolutely. I would love to hear what you all think, so please contact us
on our website or email us.
And remember, when God gives you another day, it's another opportunity to do the right thing.
Be blessed.
And put God first, because through Him, all things are possible.
We gather because we have chosen hope over fear, unity of purpose over conflict and discord. On this day, we come to proclaim an end to the petty grievances and false promises, the recriminations and worn-out dogmas that for far too long have strangled our politics. We remain a young nation, but in the words of Scripture, the time has come to set aside childish things. The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to choose our better history, to carry forward that precious gift, that noble idea passed on from generation to generation, the God-given promise that all are equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.
This evening, we're gonna stay